Hello, I am Miss Laura with the Wichita Falls Arts Council, and today we are going to make a topiary, or a plant in the shape of something else. So I have a few examples of what that might look like. Here we have an upside down U, an abstract shape. I have a plant in the shape of a hand. Hello, little bird. A donut. Another bird. A bush in the shape of a flower, so a plant in the shape of a different plant. A simple shape like a heart. A cactus, lemon bush, or even a coffee mug. We're only going to need a few things to make this project, and that is a sheet of green paper, nice grass green, a sheet of light blue paper, a white sheet of paper, and a half sheet of a different color. I'm just using some scrap. I don't need that much of a different color. Okay. I'm also going to be using a pencil, some kind of marker to define some lines. I'm going to use a glue stick, a pair of scissors, and at the very end, some colored pencils to add in some detail. So I'm going to start by doing some drawing. I'm going to take my green paper first. And I'm also going to grab my pencil. And I'm going to place my green paper just like this in front of me so that it is taller than it is wide, or in the portrait position. And I'm going to use my finger as a measuring tool. Okay, so I'm starting at the bottom edge here, or this bottom left corner, and I'm measuring the height of my finger right onto my green sheet of paper. And using the height of my finger, I'm going to draw a line going all the way across. It can be wavy or it can be absolutely flat. This line dictates where our grass is. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and label this grass. Okay. This area here is where we're going to draw our topiary shape. And it could be any shape of your choosing. It could be an animal or an object or even some kind of abstract shape like a squiggle. Okay, so I'm going to just write topiary up here so I know what everything is. Okay, so I'm going to draw a shape with my pencil. And I'm going to try to take up a lot of this space. And because I'm using my pencil, I can be a little loose. It's very forgiving. I can erase if I need to. Okay, I'm going to draw some kind of egg. I'm going to make an egg topiary. Okay. So I have a line, and then I have a shape of something I want to cut into a plant. Okay. At this point, I'm going to grab my white sheet of paper. On this sheet of paper, we're going to draw some clouds. And the shape of the clouds can be totally up to you. I have a few examples. I did some big white fluffy clouds made with a bunch of arches, all in a bunch of different sizes. I also did these longer, flat, sort of hot dog shaped clouds. Cloud shapes can be very forgiving, so you can make any type of cloud that you want. I'm going to make some big fluffy clouds. And I'm going to try to draw them in a few different sizes. There's one. Maybe have one coming off this edge here. Do a little one. even tinier one. You can take your time with this. One medium-sized cloud. Okay, so these are my clouds. The last drawing we need to do is our planter. We need somewhere for our topiary to live. And again, your planter doesn't have to look like mine. It could be a differently shaped planter. I'm going to zoom in to show you guys how I make a very simple planter. And I use my finger, again, as a unit of measurement. So I'm going to mark my fingers about this wide. And in between these two marks, again, about the height of my finger, I'm going to draw a very wide and skinny oval. And again, I can erase if I need to because this is pencil. And I'm going to draw a smaller oval underneath it, about the height of my finger again. So I'll draw another oval right underneath it, and it's going to be littler. This will give me a nice bucket shape. I want to make sure they're both centered. I don't want a big lopsided planter. Okay, and then I'm going to connect these two ovals on either side. That gives me a nice bucket. Before I do anything, I am going to erase the inside lines. I only want the outside line so I don't get confused when I'm cutting, because I want to cut this out as one solid piece. So I want to leave just the outside lines. And so once I've finished drawing my clouds, my planter, and my topiary shape, which is this egg here, and also this line that's a finger's height away from the bottom, I am going to cut on all of these lines. Each of these are components that I need in my final artwork. Okay. So I'm going to start by cutting out the grass line. To the side. And then I'll cut out my topiary shape. And when I'm cutting out my green topiary shape, because it's sort of a hedge plant with like a lot of leaves, I like to wiggle my scissors a little bit to make kind of a jagged edge, which gives it a more leafy appearance. So when you look at a hedge, it's not, even if it looks like a flat line, all the leaves sort of make the outline jagged. There we go, this egg. Clouds. One more to go. And last but not least, I'm going to cut out my planter. I'm cutting on that outside line. So now I need to glue everything into place. So I'm going to locate my untouched sheet of light blue paper, and I'm going to first glue down my strip of grass. And I'm going to glue it down so all of the pencil marks are going to be glued down. So I'm applying glue to the side with pencil marks so that it doesn't appear at the very end. Plenty of glue, getting all of these edges. And I'm being very careful to line my grass strip with the bottom edge of my blue paper, lining up all the corners, the edges, and then pressing down and really making sure that these two pieces of paper stick together. I have a little flap that's sticking up here. Just apply a little more glue. Okay, after I've glued down my grass strip, I am going to glue down my clouds. And I'm going to arrange them first. And like the grass strip, I like to glue it so any pencil mark is facing down. Coming off the edge here. So a lot of clouds. Okay, and once I like the arrangement, I can go ahead and glue them into place. Again, making sure that I'm gluing or I'm applying glue to the side with little pencil marks on it. Any flaps that were not properly glued, I can go ahead and fix now. I can even turn my paper over, move the back. All those pieces to stick together. Okay. So my clouds are in place, my grass is in place. Now I need to glue my planter. And I'm going to glue the side with all the pencil marks so that it faces down. And when I'm placing my planter, I'm going to be very careful about where I place it. I'm going to try to put it in the center here, in the center between these two sides, the right and the left side. And then I'm not going to put the planter on the horizon here, that line that separates my sky from my grass. I'm going to make sure it overlaps my grass just a little bit. Okay. Press down. So now all I have left to glue down is my egg-shaped plant. I'm going to make sure that when I glue this green shape down, I'm going to glue just this top area at first. I'm going to leave this flap at the bottom unglued. Okay, so I'm applying glue just to this top area here, from here up. And I'm going to place it just so it's hovering over, maybe about a finger away from my planter. I want to see some sky in between. All right. And of course, because I didn't apply glue to the bottom here, I can still lift this flap up. And that's going to be helpful for when I draw branches. So I'm going to need a pencil and a marker for this next step. We're going to add in some crucial details. So I'm going to start by making an opening line on my planter. I need to show that it is an open, or a container that has an opening. Like on this heart topiary, right? We're going to create this line here that shows that this planter has an open top. So I'm just going to draw a line, a curved line, kind of like a smile, very wide smile. Going from this corner to this corner, but I'm not going all the way to the edge of my planter. I'm getting close, but again, I'm leaving that space there. I'm going almost from edge to edge. And then if I like my line, I'm going to go over it in marker or a dark colored pencil. So this shows that my planter has an opening. And now that my planter has an opening, I can start to draw branches for my big egg here to grow out of. And that is why I left this flap unglued. Okay. So I'm going to draw in pencil first. And I'm going to draw some branches. So I'm going to start in the center here. And I'm going to draw a branch that goes up and under my green topiary shape. I'm going to have a branch. I'm going to have some branches come off of here. Okay, when I like my branches, I can grab my marker and outline my pencil marks. A little bit thicker at the bottom. I'm going to erase any extra pencil that's still left over. And then when I like all of my branches, I'm going to grab my glue and I'm going to glue down this flap over the branches so they overlap. Okay, so at this point we have a pretty complete picture. We have a planter, we have a plant, and we have a very cloudy sky, and the grass is green. What's left is details. So I'm going to grab a green colored pencil. This is just a regular green. And I'm going to go around this outside edge here with my green colored pencil to make my topiary look a little more three-dimensional. So I'm just sort of scribbling around the edge, trying my very best to stay on the green. And again, I'm not shading. I want to do a nice scribble so that when you step back, it kind of looks a little bit like leaves. Okay, and I'm working my way all the way around the edge. You probably throw in some scribbles in the middle here. My topiary is basically finished. So I have the option now. I have this very blank planter. I can choose to add details to it, maybe polka dots or stripes. I pre-cut some little flowers. I'm just going to glue on. I just cut these out of scrap paper. And then we are done. Thank you so much for joining me today, and hope to see you next time.